Hey, I'm live. Hello, I'm Russ from YumDM. Back with you live again. Sorry, my hair's doing crazy stuff today. Thanks. I think there's two people online. Maybe that's me and someone else. I don't know. Say hello in the chat. Here we go. Hey. Oh, you're gonna test my French there. Hey, Krista. Nice. So there is two people. Excellent. Well, I'm not talking to myself, so that's a good start. I think I will just say Rasnag. Now, was it Rasnag? Rasnag, yes. Welcome. Hopefully, some other people jump in. I just wanted to give you another update about what I'm doing, where I am, what I'm working on. I am happy. I went to the printers last night because they were open late. MacJack, hello. Hello, fellow nerds. Yes, hello, fellow nerds indeed. And I'm happy to say that I do have the printed versions of the next two issues, which I'll be sending out to anyone who buys it off my web store or patrons who are on the printing tier. So that's issue, where are we? We're backwards. So issue 43, which is the Weird Magic issue, and issue 44, which the cover came up really amazing. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, whether that does it justice, but that red really pops. And that's the Weird Monster issue. So there is another issue coming out in that series, which is Weird Places, which I'm working on now, which will be March's issue. So I've caught up with all the ones that I'm behind, which is really cool. I'm happy with that. And now my focus is 100% on the annual, which I don't know if you guys backed it or not. I can't remember. I think you did, Krista, which will be out by the end of, I'm hoping it's all done by the end of March. So I'm still waiting on some artwork from the artist who's doing it, Alex. He's gone through a bit of a rough patch at the moment, so but I hopefully will get the rest of the art. He's done about 2/3 of it, so he's only got a third to go. And I still need to send it to the proofreader, who is another friend of mine who is a wonderful librarian. So I'm sure he'll do a great job. I also backed it. Excellent. Thanks, MacJack. Create another annual after this one. Yes. So once this first annual is out the door, as MacJack mentioned, I will be doing annual like year 2, year 3, year 4. I think we're in year 4 now, which is kind of crazy. But I have learned my lessons with this first one. This was my first Kickstarter, and unfortunately, when you're a one-person unit, like a lot of indie creators are, if you get sick, there is no one to do the work for you. And I got very sick, as some of you might know. And so I was in hospital for, I think, 33 days, plus another 4 days about a week later because I had an infection. So I'm okay now, which is good news. Yeah, it is impressive, MacJack. He said approaching the end of the year. I don't know if can you guys read these chats? I don't know. Maybe I'm just repeating what people can read anyway. And that's great, Krista. You saying you've got 12 number 12 and onwards. So yeah, the annual will be the complete. The annual I'm looking at adding. Oh, you can read it. Okay. Thanks, Rasnag. So sorry, what I was saying, I got distracted. So with year 2 annual and onwards, I will make sure that they're 95% complete before I actually do the Kickstarter. I want all the writing and the layout done. I want all the proofreading done. The only thing that I'll probably wait for just to see how well it does is just the artwork and how much original artwork I can put into it. So with that in mind, thank you so much for backing it. It is coming. I hope you saw my update on Kickstarter. I feel really bad that it hasn't come out yet. It was supposed to be done last year. I had to reassess my whole plans for this year. I've got the next 2 years kind of roughly planned out in a spreadsheet because I love planning stuff in spreadsheets. And I've also actually, just on that, I've researched a lot of productivity stuff because I really want to get, I've got a lot to do and I really want to get that a lot done in the next year or two. And I've sort of researching a lot of productivity stuff. And one thing that really stuck out to me was using your time intentionally. So you're intentionally doing something as opposed to just sit this, scroll, like death scrolling, or or doing something else, watching a video just because it's something to do. Whereas if you kind of, and that's where the planning comes into it. If you kind of plan out your days and your weeks, then you can intentionally do something, and it helps you. So if I want to go on a date with my wife, then I'll do that intentionally because I want to, and of course I want to. When I spend time with my kids, I'll do that intentionally. If I want to work on the zine, I'll do that intentionally. And so if there's something that I can't fit in, it's not a big deal because I know that I'm filling that time up with something else that's productive, including zine writing and creating all that other stuff. With that in mind, I am about to kick off a new solo campaign, which will be using some old characters from my old. If you followed along on the blog, I haven't completed them. Again, it's sort of something that fell by the wayside when I was sick. A campaign where I used the dungeon from the AD&D DMsG, and I used that as a silver mine, and I went through in it, but I just created I had the map, but I created what was in it as part of the solo, just whatever the dice said. And I'm doing that again with the map from the Caves of Chaos, which I'm calling the Caves of Conflict. And the PCs have actually reached the cave now. I've done a couple of sessions where they just travel along, but with them now being ready to go into the caves, I'm actually recording that. So that will be recorded online through a program I'm going to use, which is specifically made for solo journaling, which is called Sojour. So kind of combination of solo journaling. I'll leave a link to that below. I think my last video, I talked about it a little bit as well. And so I'll be recording that in sort of probably 25, 30-minute chunks. And then, because I think that's a good time just to sit down and watch something. I don't want them to go on for hours and hours. The other two campaigns I have in mind, one is a Planescape 2nd edition D&D campaign, which I've been meaning to play Planescape again for ages, and I don't have the books, but I've ordered them. So I got I ordered them through drive-through. The next live video, I'll have them hopefully to show you and see what they're like. They're just soft cover versions of it. I know the original Planescape was a box set. Obviously, I'm not going to, you can get them on eBay, but they go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, anything like that, if you can find them. So I'm not about to pay that, but I've got the print-on-demand version of the rule book, I think the Planewalkers guidebook, and the Sigil guidebook. So I think I'll base it around Sigil. I'll have maybe some politics with the different factions. I don't know exactly what the storyline will be. I might try and roll that randomly and to see what I come up with. Again, I've got to try and figure out whether I'm going to do that as a separate. I might do it as a separate campaign that's just sort of like, because I only want to do a mini campaign. I want to do sort of 3 to 5 sessions for that campaign. And then the other campaign I have in mind, which is not fantasy, because I do like mixing it up a bit. My whole gaming life is fantasy at the moment, but I'm going to change that with Twilight 2000. I was going to originally use the 1st edition rules, but I've caved and I'm going to use the 4th edition rules. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos on how combat works and how it plays, but I'm really excited to read that soon. I even started getting some army men. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see. Some army men for just cheap army men from the from the cheap shop, like the $2 shop, and they're pretty good for minis. So I haven't decided whether I'll do it on the table setup or online. I'll see how I go. I got these other ones here which look pretty good until you turn them on the side, and they're super thin, man. That's crazy. Look how thin that guy is. I think it's even more. This machine gun dude, he looks okay, and as soon as you turn him on the side, he's like paper thin. So maybe that's an ability. He can like blend into the surrounds by turning sideways. But anyway, so they're the campaigns, the solo campaigns I'm planning, and I'm going to record them all, and I'm going to put them on YouTube, obviously, but they'll be pre-recorded. They won't be live like these sessions are. And I've sort of blocked out some time in the mornings to do those sessions and record those sessions. So that'll be something to look forward to on this channel. What was some other things? So I talked about the Kickstarter. It's coming along. Oh yeah, a couple other purchases I made. They are PDFs, so I can't show you anything physically, but they are. I'll tell you about them because one of them is called Deep Space, and I on Twitter and other social platforms I did mention this as a real bargain because I think it was like half price, and you got a bundle of the supplements for Deep Space. It's like Deep Space is basically a very light, space, where you blast across the stars and explore the universe. But it's a really light system. It's got the actual base rules are only 4 pages, but he's brought out a ton of supplements and adventures and stuff for it. And he pretty much had them all up for, I think it was half price on drive-through. I don't know if it's still cheap. I'll link to it down below, and we'll just have to wait and see. If someone wants to look it up, just Deep Space on drive-through RPG. But it looks really good. I haven't read anything of it yet, but I've been sort of watching it for a while. And when this bundle came up, I just jumped on it. I just thought it was a really good value, even though it's a light game. But that's kind of good. I don't have a lot to read then. The other one that I want to mention is free. And obviously most of you guys will probably know the name Dave Arneson, who was the co-creator of D&D, along with Gary Gygax. He died, unfortunately, quite a few years ago now, but he was halfway through a project for his Blackmore campaign, which was going to sort of bring it up to date and focus on a different area or just have more conflict in that particular area. I haven't read the full thing yet, but it's a PDF that I found when I was searching around old forum posts. I'll put a link where you can download it in the doobly-doo down below. But it's called Blackmore Age of the Wolf, and it's a free PDF, and it's 205 pages. Like it's fully kitted out. Apparently, Dave Arneson only got halfway through it before he unfortunately passed away. And hey, Ironcaster, how you going, man? I'm just talking about Dave Arneson's last project, which he got halfway through, called Castle Blackmore. Was it Age? Did I say Age? Age of the Wolf. And it was completed quite a few years ago and has been now made available for free download. So I'll put the link in there and you can download that for free. Again, over 200 pages. That's pretty amazing. And it's pretty cool that someone finished it off and gave it to everyone for free. So if you're into old school, from what I've read so far, I just read sort of what it's about. It's set in an age of conflict. The king's died. There's all these, all these barons and stuff squabbling, and it is very much old school D&D. So if you like the Gonzo aspect of old school, I believe there's like spaceships and stuff like that in sort of like that really old school stuff. And knowing Dave Arneson's work, it will be a little bit Gonzo. But if you don't like that stuff, you could probably take that out and it would still work effectively. But it looks like a really cool book. What else I've got to? I think that might be it. Oh yes, actually, after this stream, I think 8 o'clock. Hang on, let me have a look. I'm actually being mentioned in a stream. Sorry, I've just completely blanked on by Jeff McLear at the Gaming Gang. He does like reviews of role playing products, but he did put out a tweet this morning saying that he was I think reviewing or having news with me, with probably about the zines. I don't know. He just mentioned me in it. And there'll be news about Kobold Press, Exalted Funeral, and Gnarled Monster. I'm happy to be associated with those brands and those people. So that was pretty cool. And I think he said it was 8 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. CT, 5 p.m. PT. So I don't know what that means to you people in America, you crazy kids. But yeah, so I think that's all I've really got. I just wanted to jump on and just talk about what I'm doing and what I've bought and stuff that I recommend. I do recommend you check out that stream because I mentioned if you can handle this much of me. If you got any questions, just put them in the chat real quick. Otherwise, I'll say goodbye for now. I don't want to make these live streams really long unless I've got something really detailed. Oh, actually, there's one other thing that I've remembered. I am working. I had some holidays. When I say holidays, I had like 3 days away at the coast just to sort of relax, and it was amazing. It just felt like I was there a lot longer, which is great. And I did, while I was there, I did come up with an idea of creating a dungeon just using normal playing cards. It's probably not an original idea, but I just was playing a few games of Patience with just cards, and it sort of just hit me that I could probably use these to do a dungeon. So I might put it in the zine, or I might just release it once I sort of got it nutted out. I don't even know if it's going to work, but it's something simple, and I'll just let it out for free. I don't think it's going to be immensely amazing. But yeah, that's another idea that I'm working on. I've got all these ideas, but I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's, I really like doing these live sessions way more than the pre-recorded ones. I'm not too sure why. But again, thanks for tuning in. And this is Ross from YumDM saying a goodbye. And as always, happy gaming.